Hey, all right. So it looks like I'm live. Whoever ends up showing up in the chat room first, please let me know if the audio sounds okay. I need to. I think I need to adjust these lights just a little bit. Just a little bit. Looks like it's a little too much. Just a little bit too. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, let me know my audio's all right. Thank you, man. Thank you. Dang, why is that so bright? It is ridiculous. All right, I just turned it sideways. There we go. Nice. Good. Thank you. Super. Yeah, I know it was super bright. I had to tone that shit right down. Right down. All right, I'm trying to get all my poops in a group. So if it seems a little disordered, oh, by the way, look, we cannot do this tonight. I mean, I know it's Wednesday, but have drinks. Look, man, I got it in a styrofoam cup inside a red Solo cup, so you know it's good. Yo, OG1 Kenobi. Wrangle Crew says, hey, I'm going to get the EOSR because it's so shitty it will challenge me as a photographer. Man, if you do that, I want to see all your videos. It is so nice to be challenged. I mean, honestly, if you just wanted to be challenged, seriously, try and get 4K 60p out of your film cameras. Tovanar says, it's Thursday here. Is it really? Time zones, man. Time zones. Robert Smith. Elysian spaced us in a glass. That's right. I'm not going to tell you, because I got to keep it like PG. I don't want... I don't have to keep it PG. I just can't have illicit substances in frame. So, you got to obfuscate all the things so you don't get demonetized. You got to shill. You got to shill for your drink, but at the same time, you still got to get paid. Tom said, what, man? Tom says, what are you drinking? I am having an adult beverage. I figure, you know what? Coffee in the morning, adult beverages in the evening. That's really the only way to finish out a good day. Of course, I didn't pop no one's bubble today. So like my latest video, I was just checking stats. I had a photography gig I had to do earlier, so I didn't get to check them like hardcore. But yeah, like, so it didn't do as good as yesterday, obviously. I mean, all you got to do is just throw Peter's name in there. And I mean, the people just come flocking. They really do. They just come in and, hey, who said what about whom? Is there drama? Hype train. So yeah, I thought maybe the poop would help pull people in, but maybe people are turned off by poop. Y'all not into scat? I don't know. Booger Nader. What's going on, man? 360 Mix says, was work. Can you please give me your thoughts on release dates on cameras? Sony a7 III came out on April 2018 and still back ordered on all major distributors. Okay, check it out. I don't think in any way, shape, or form Sony is going to be holding much back for much longer. This was also done back in 2016 with the Sony a6500. They released that camera in November. So there's a really good chance that it's either coming out, either the A7S Mark III in the next month or two, or it's going to be that A6000, 6700 or A7000. Well, whatever the hell it's going to be. I mean, you guys will figure it out, but probably before I will. I mean, I keep my ear to the ground pretty close most of the time, but I don't know what they're going to release. I mean, my instinct tells me that they are going to push the A7S Mark III first. That's my guess, just because full frame just kind of seems to be like their thing right now, unfortunately. But they have to have an answer for Fuji's X-T3. I mean, there's just no way they're going to let that go, unquestioned. So they got to put something out there. I don't know what it's going to look like. A lot of people have been talking about it's going to be a mini A9. And I think that would make a lot of sense considering the fact that Fuji's X-T3 is now going to be shooting 20 and 30 frames per second. So, yeah, I mean, it does kind of make sense. I mean, I don't think Sony wants to concede that entire range of income, because a lot of people are buying the APS-C, even though that their lens lineup is a bit lackluster. So they need that range of cameras in order to get people to buy the full frame glass. But I mean, yeah, I'm not 100% sure what they're gonna release. My instinct tells me it's gonna be the A7 Mark III though. Long Rider, man, I love you, dog. Quit sending me money, man. I appreciate it, but quit sending me money. I love you. I got the PayPal, by the way. I wanted to thank you in a more personal way than just like responding to you on PayPal, but I did get it. It was very, very sweet. I love you. Let's kiss. Let's make up. And let's have drinks together. All right. Gay Shrink says, shill, wannabe. Man, I've tried to shill just a little bit. Am I not doing a very good job? Check his sign out. What's that say? That's right. Shotgun and all, baby. Bunch of y'all actually said, hey, man, was that shotgun real? Was that real? And I'm like, yes. It was. Look, I kept these. I kept the shotgun shells when I shot it just the other day. Well, yesterday. And those are empty shells, man. I had to fire two for the sequence. I had to fire the one because I only took one camera out there with me. So I had to have one shell to actually shoot Peter's credibility. I had to blow that shit up. And then I had to shoot the other one for the shot of me firing the shotgun. So I had to fire off two. But I've got a big yard, so it doesn't really matter. Blah, 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 blah. Let me see here. Mick says, I'm surprised you didn't go back at Peter McKinnon. Yeah, I know. I mean, that was enough. That was enough. Come on. You tell the truth. It was enough, right? I mean, I think I did my job in that one video. I mean, honestly, Peter did most of the damage himself. It does not take very much effort to either prove or disprove the fact that that man was 100% shiltastic in that video. Come on. Tell the truth. Oh, what else we got? Evolution of Me says, I'm into big booty bitches, not scat. Yeah, man, give me a nice thick rear end any day. The front is optional, honestly. But yeah, give me a big ghetto booty any day of the week, man. That is just, that is prime time. Gerald Bertram, is that Bertram? Evening from Richmond, Virginia. Hello. I guess we're both Eastern Standard Time, Gerald, because it's just a little bit after 8, is it? Yeah, Evolution of Me says Sony hates APS-C. I agree. I seriously, I don't know what their deal is. They kind of seem like they have absolutely no interest in putting forth any effort in their APS-C line. 360 Mix says, Mark, what I mean. Let's see, what I mean that Sony releases cameras and 6 months later still on back orders, and it kind of sucks. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the same thing's happening with, what was it, the Nikon D850? Does that sound about right? Yeah, it's the D850. But I mean, when a camera is genuinely good, like genuinely good, it's going to last for like 3, 4, 5, even longer years. So when someone like Nikon actually puts out a bomb-ass camera, it is worth waiting for. It's worth putting your pre-order in and just sitting around and getting it. Even if you have to wait a year or two. I mean, you want a good piece of gear, especially if you're a working professional doing it every day. Tim Scott says, what's up, brother? Love the show as always. Thank you, my friend. I love you too. Mick says, you drinking that purple drink? Oh man, I ain't got no, it's got black cherry in it though. That was all I had. I usually do like a Monster or a Rockstar energy drink, but man, I don't want to be up late tonight. Y'all keep me up, and then you all make me get up early in the morning, so I got to do morning jolt and shit. Y'all are like a slave cracking taskmaster, like, get up, bitch, and make my morning jolt. All right. Let's see. Man, I'm missing comments already. You got to be shitting me. Long Rider says, Sony's always quiet before the storm. Love you too, man. And you make me laugh, and we need more of that in this world. I agree. People take themselves way too serious. Gay Shrink says, do not sell out. Who am I selling out to, man? I got like Fuji cameras, and I got like Canon cameras, and I got Apple cameras, and I'm using a Logitech camera, and I got my Sony camera over there. Who am I selling out to, man? I buy them all. I get them all because I actually like them all. There's a lot to be had from all systems. So, and this was something I was talking to Ted Forbes. What was it, yesterday? Yeah, it was the day. It was yesterday after I released the Peter McKinnon video, and he was actually talking to me about, like, you know, kind of what my position was. And I said, look, man, as far as selling out or shilling, my time is always for sale. You can buy me. You can rent me, bitch. I will be your whore for the right amount of money. You can buy my time, but what you cannot do is you cannot buy my opinion. You can send me your stuff. You can let me check it out. You can let me look at it. You can let me use it. You can let me keep it. You can let me do anything. But none of that is going to buy my opinion. So I'll give you my honest opinion. Buy my time. Rent my ass for a week. If you want me to try out your gear, send it to me. Rent me out. You can definitely buy my time. That's 100% for faux show. But you cannot buy my opinion. That's the difference, my friends. That's the difference. I mean, seriously, that video by Peter, 100% sickening. Like, I was just like, for real. As soon as I saw that plastic gun, I went, oh, goddamn, man, I'm already workshopping an idea right now. And then it got to the 17-minute shill fest, and I just couldn't take it anymore, boys. I just had to make it happen. I had to make it happen. I immediately, I said, where the shotgun is. I'm gonna show this boy. And I could have gotten out my Russian AK-47 or my Serbian AK pistol, any of my handgun. I could have, but the shotgun just seemed so appropriate. You know, it explodes stuff a bit better, and you know, it's a lot harder to miss. You know. All right. Where the hell was I at? Oh, okay. Jonathan Allard says, oh, he's talking to somebody else. My bad. Evolution to Me says, please trigger all the gun-hating liberals. Man, that's not hard to do. Look, guns are an integral part. Just like cameras, you have to shoot shit. Sometimes you do it for fun, and sometimes you do it because you gotta live. Okay? It's the same principle. They're not evil. They're just tools. Some work better than others. Some have 4K. Some have them 30-round clips or magazines, depending on which side of the aisle you're on. So they're all tools, man. Yeah, I've got like 3 handguns, 1 AK pistol, 1 AK rifle with a Vortex scope. I think it's like a 7x24, 7x25, something like that. No, I got a 2x7 on there. Yeah, I don't need it to be 225. And the shotgun. So, I mean, some guy says, man, why don't you just drop the guns? I said, drop the guns? Are you nuts? You are clearly not from around here, my friend. Australia may have made you drop the guns, but not around here. Where we at? Boogernator says he's Second Amendment. Yeah. Absolutely, my friend. Tom says, what did Sony released new APS-C lens 3 years ago, or was it 4? I don't know, man, but it's been a while. It really has. Sony, as far as I'm aware, Sony has not dropped a single solitary APS-C lens, a dedicated APS-C lens, probably since I picked up the A6300. I think that's right. 3 years ago. Maybe even before that. I mean, I'm really thinking. And yeah, it could have even been before that. So, I don't know, man. But yeah, I mean, they are not in any way rushing to deal with that whatsoever. I kind of think that they feel like anyone that's taking their photography serious is going to go full frame anyway. And I think that's a bit short-sighted, you know? So... Paul says, that Mossberg made the day. Thank you. That Mossberg makes my day as well. It is, man, what is up with this cough? Shit. Can I cough real loud? Hang on. Let me take this off so I don't jack your all's ears up. I apologize for that. That was brutal. All right, let me get back to comments. I feel like I'm falling behind here. I'm really falling behind. Man, y'all some chatting ass motherfuckers tonight. Okay, Jonathan says, why did they ask that? I don't know. My friend couldn't guess either. Polyrhythm says, why are the Sony a7 III and the Nikon D850 available everywhere where I live? Europe, though. What's up with that? I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys just ain't picking them up. Maybe they're not as popular. Maybe they're just not popular over there. Because they're super popular here. Everyone's on the full frame train, though. Seriously. I mean, there's probably like 16 people that actually like APS-C for professional work. You know, it is what it is, though. I mean, there's like two dudes that are sitting out in a duck blind right now, you know, shooting wildlife, and the other 14 of us are all doing either, I don't know, real estate photography, or I don't know, portraits in their basement. I don't know. Look, I'm just kidding, but I don't understand the allure to full frame. I used to be full frame. Like, and it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. But I mean, if you actually see the difference comparatively, like on a real world basis, not like lab style shit, not like 400% pixel peeping type stuff, it's not that big of a difference. I don't give a shit who says what. It is not that big of a difference. Seriously. If you didn't know what camera it was with, if you didn't know what lens of a photograph was shot with, I mean, you would just go, wow, that's a gorgeous photograph. It is an absolutely gorgeous photograph. But you would never go, man, I wonder if they shot that thing with a DSLR full frame, or if it was a mirrorless crop sensor. Like, you would never know. You would never ask. You would just go, that's either beautiful or damn, that sucks. I mean, that's the extent of your evaluation. So, but I know, I get it. I mean, photographers are picky ass sons of bitches. In Plateau says he's basically a Canon ambassador. It's to be expected. Yeah, he is. And I get it, you know, but at the same time, being an ambassador should not steal you of your real opinion. Now, I realize that those ambassadors, or, you know, ambassadors of light, or exploring light, whatever the hell they're calling themselves, they have sort of like an agreement that they won't use anything else. That's the reason Maddie, his other partner, who tried really hard. I watched that video. He tried really hard to make the A7 Mark III lose focus a whole lot. Either that dude has special needs. I'm telling the truth. Either he has special needs, or he's the only one on planet Earth that's actually having focusing problems with the A7 Mark III. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Come on. If you watch his video, I think the dude is on purposely trying to make it underperform for the sake of shilling. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being too harsh. No offense to special needs folks. I have special needs in my family. And I'm not joking. I think he was trying on purpose to make the A7 Mark III underperform just to make Canon look better. Say what you will. But that's my opinion, and no one had to pay me for it. Let's see. Evolution to Me says, I unsub from Peter after a few vids. He always shilled. I mean, I don't even know if I'm subscribed to him or whatever. I mean, he just, I don't know. He's very pop culture, and that's fine. I mean, you're not going to get like a ton of useful information. He's basically just rehashing hey, what's the best lenses to get and all that kind of horse shit. Like, we all already know. If you're a photographer, you know. If you're maybe some starry-eyed little bitch, like, you might be interested. But I mean, I'm not saying that what Peter does is bad. And honestly, I congratulate him a lot on his success. Reaching the heights on YouTube at that speed is phenomenal. But at the same time, what he has done is he has taken basic, simple, and overall well-known content and just put it in a nice, flashy package. And I commend him for wanting to take the time to do it, because I don't. And I resigned myself to that a long time ago. I was just like, man, this information has been hashed over and over and over again. You know, and then you get all the viewers, and then you get all the camera companies that want to get their products and shit in front of those viewers. But Canon, being a Canon ambassador, should not mean that you all of a sudden are not allowed to have an opinion. But from the knowledge that I have about being an ambassador, that's effectively how it goes. You're not allowed to use any other product in any of your videos. And I mean, I'm talking a GoPro you're not allowed to use. You are only allowed to use Canon gear in your videos. That's insider info. True or not, I am not 100% for sure. Again, I leave it up to you to decide. Have you ever seen anything else except Canon gear in any of his videos? I've probably watched 10 of his videos since he started YouTube, and I can't remember a single time where I saw anything except Canon. So, I don't know. Mick says that Sigma 56mm lens is looking nice for the Sony APS-C. I might swoop it. Yeah, and seriously, that is what the Sony system needs. I seriously think that Sigma is really the saving grace for Sony APS-C right now, because we all know Sony ain't doing anything. In plateau, goddamn. When a photographer is genuinely good, the camera will last longer. That's 100% true. The longer you use a camera, the more intimately familiar you get with it, and it just becomes like an old t-shirt. You know, damn, it just feels good. I don't want to get rid of it. You don't understand. Guys, come on now. I got like 1.5% female audience, so I'm just going to say guys, because I'm almost positive that all of y'all are guys. It's just like a t-shirt, man. Like, we don't throw away shit because we like comfort. We like the familiarity. Ooh, that's a rough one tonight. Familiarity. Familiarity. It really happens. Words are hard today. So yeah, you get familiar with something like a pair of jeans or a nice shirt or a beat up old car. I mean, it treated you right. You feel like an obligation to it, man. You don't want to just cast that kind of thing to the side. You don't want to kick that shit to the curb. You know, you feel a bond with that thing. So yeah, the longer you use a camera, the more familiar you get with it and the more comfortable you are with it. And, you know, you just, the technical aspect of the camera, where the buttons, where the dials, where my settings, all that kind of shit, that stuff starts to kind of fade away. And then you can really just sort of dive down and get into the photography of the whole thing, or the videography. I'm not going to exclude the video, the video, folks. By the way, everybody that's watching right now, I got 46 people watching. Everybody thumbs up this video. For real. For real. All right. David Saylor says, yep, my D810 is still running strong, and it will. As a matter of fact, I think did I own the D800 or the D800E? Which one? Because I own one of the D800s and the D600. Unfortunately, I had a bit of dust, but not real bad, and the D610. And I loved them both. I really did. They produced absolutely gorgeous images. As a matter of fact, on my Instagram, I just posted a couple of a collage of images of Christine that I shot years ago on the I think it was the it was the D600 series, one of either the D600 or the D610. And it really did. The Nikon cameras, because of their dynamic range, make them a serious contender for any photographer who wants to retain details. You know, they're still very relevant, and they probably will be for, you know, like the next, you know, 5 to 10 years, realistically. I mean, we all like to give them shit, you know, and I know that they can't take a joke, but, you know, they're still relevant. I mean, I'll be honest with y'all. OG1 Kenobi, how about the new 50R? Oh my God, man. I am honestly surprised. Like, see, when you think about medium formats, you think of like Mamiya or, you know, Hasselblad or Phase One. You just think about these massive, chunky ass cameras. So for Fujifilm to rock the shit out of medium format and drop it into a camera body that small, that was bomb. Seriously. Think about the level of technology. Think about how far we have come. Squeezing that amount of sensor into such a small portable package. Dude, tell me honestly. Y'all be honest. All right. Why mess with full frame at this point? At this stage in the game, why even mess with it? When in 2 years, think about it, in 2 years, the used camera market is going to be flooded with used medium format Fujifilm cameras. Now, granted, if you're a studio photographer, you know, and that's all you do all day is stand tethered to a computer with your medium format camera, you know, the size of the lenses and stuff are not going to be a big deal to you. It's not like you're dragging them around in the mountains of the Himalayan, you know? So unfortunately, that's just not what I do. I think that the medium format cameras today are going to absolutely force Phase One and Hasselblad to rethink their business model. Because, I mean, you just can't charge. I mean, you absolutely positively cannot charge $30,000 for a camera. And then as a studio photographer, look at the Fuji and just go, oh, damn, man, I at least got to try it out and throw it up and compare it. You know, and when you're shooting 100 megapixel shots, you have to be like ridiculously discerning in order to go, I'd rather go with $30,000. Seriously. Only the top 1% cream of the crop echelon of photographers are going to pixel peep the shit out of that at 400% just to compare noise grain patterns and whatever else. Everyone else is going to be perfectly fine. They're going to be just great. Long Rider says, Nikon did great with the D850 and the D500, and they will get it together. Yeah, I hope. I really do. It always takes Nikon a little while to kind of learn their lesson. Canon's probably going to survive, too. As long as they keep that dual pixel autofocus and their colors, they're going to be just fine. The Newman file says, just got the XT3 and looking for an all-rounder prime and can't decide between the 23 f2 or the 35 f2 in addition to the kit lens. Please help me decide before y'all get wasted. Oh, God, man. If it was me, I'd probably go with the 23 f2. Probably. That, or I would go with the 23 f1.4. A little bit slower, a little bit bigger, a little bit noisier, but damn, that image quality though. Personal preference. Being on a crop sensor camera, I want as much, you know, openness to that aperture as I can get, but there is an allure to those smaller f2 primes, that's for damn sure. But yeah, probably the 23 in either the f2 or the 1.4. Photo me Ike, man. I really appreciate you sticking around, Ike, because honestly, in that Chelsea is scared video, I was not making fun of you when you taped the shit across the hat. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. That was pro level shit, and I appreciate your honesty. Raymond Knack says, used to watch you years ago. Ran across your morning show last month. Love it. Thanks, Raymond. Yeah, I was a bit more boring back in the day. I got to be honest. I'll admit it. Look, when you first start on YouTube and you actually do start getting some people that actually want to send you some shit, you kind of go, oh man, I should probably try and act right, you know? So you try and manufacture a version of yourself. You know, you still want to kind of keep your overall basic personality in there, but at the same time, you hold back. At this point in my life, and with the relationship that I've developed with B&H, if a company, any camera company, any lens company, any accessory company goes, you know, we want to cut ties with you, B&H doesn't care. They just sell the shit. So I go, hey, my man, can I have this, that, and the other? And they go, yep, here it comes, man. So I get to check out that gear. No obligation to any camera company whatsoever. I don't have to promise anything. I don't have to say anything. I don't get any script. I just get to evaluate and then make my own judgment. So that's personally where I think the benefit comes in of not being loyal to any camera brand. I can pick up any camera I want from any manufacturer I want at any time, say anything about it, and B&H just goes, hey man, did you get that return merchandise authorization? Okay, cool. That's it. That's all they care about. They just want their shit back. Straight out of camera says, oh, he's talking to somebody else. Casper says, why the potty mouth? Because that's me. I like to say curse words. Curse words are fun. They really are. Now, granted, here's some insight about me. I'm actually extremely educated. I'm well thought. I'm well read, well researched, but talking like a dork to me is boring. I want to curse like a sailor. It just feels nice. There's a certain thing about it. It's a shortcut to great things. You could say, I find you extremely attractive. I would like to disrobe you intimately, slowly, and precisely. Smell and sniff all the right places, blah, blah, blah. Or I could say, girl, you are so fine. Can we get the effing... Some of them appreciate that kind of thing. Just saying. In Plateau says, Ted is a really nice guy, and he is. He is an extremely nice guy. I think we probably talked for about, we ended up Skyping. I think we ended up talking for like 2 hours. And it was honestly, it was very therapeutic. And it always is. Like when you have one of your peers to just kind of vent to, you know, because they know what you've been going through. They know how tough it is. They know how, but Ted did way better than me. I mean, he and I were talking probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and he hadn't quite hit 100,000 subscribers yet. And I think I was still around maybe like, I don't know. I forget how many subscribers I had at the time, but I knew that he was still under 100,000. But that's when he was doing mainly like the art of photography. And Ted, ultimately he made a business decision, and God dang, like his channel just took off. It did really well. So, I like doing gear reviews. I really do. They're kind of fun, but there's so much extra work for such a small amount of payoff. Sometimes the spoken word, and I think that this is the reason why my morning show has actually started doing really good, is because I used to do comedy talk radio. So it just kind of suits me. It's very suited for my personality, my presentation style. You have to be very animated, with your voice in order to convey those types of messages with nothing but a microphone, right? So when there's no video and you just go, hey, how's it going? What's happening, everyone? The more animated your voice goes, the better it conveys a story, right? So being in talk radio and being in visual media and doing, photography and everything, you learn to be creative with both your eyes, your ears, your voice, body language, everything. It's kind of like acting, but with your voice. That's the reason we have voice actors, right? So yeah, potty mouth, I just enjoy it. I don't have like a solid reason why. I just like to say fuck a lot. But I usually don't. I'll say it on the live stream, but I usually don't. I try and keep it at least PG-13 on my standard videos just so that I can continue to stay monetized, because how else am I going to put, you know, food on the table or vodka down my neck? Let's see what else we got. Photo me, I just popped you, man. He just popped you, Casper. He said, you have a potty mouth every time you talk about Nikon. I have seen that shit, and that is a true story. I didn't block Ike. I never blocked him. Like, he said, hey, man, I'm unblocked. I don't even know what he was talking about. I saw his comment. I didn't block him. I shit you not, man. I do not block people. I do not censor. The only douchebag that I deleted was Mick when I did the TED video, because he posted a comment and he like self-promoted. I said, dude, I'll give you 3 minutes to edit your comment and take all your self-promo horseshit out of the comment, and it can stay. But if you don't, 3 minutes and I'm going to delete it. He said, no problem, man. I'll just go ahead and take my chances. I said, well, alrighty. And then I just deleted that shit. That's how it goes. I told him, just take the self-promo stuff out. I didn't want to delete that whole message. And I hoped that he would repost it again without the self-promo. But then I told him, I said, dude, you keep lying about me. Because that's what he did. He said that he was telling one of my other viewers, he said, yeah, I already sent him a PayPal. And he didn't. I never gave him my PayPal address to send me anything. I said, and I've checked my PayPal account. There's nothing in there from you. And then he goes, oh, well, it was Venmo. Same difference. And I said, yeah, never downloaded Venmo. Don't have a Venmo account. Never used it my entire life. He goes, well, you know what I mean. Smiley face. I said, no, I don't. I said, if you're going to be a little bitch, if you're going to be a little tween line bitch, I'll just make you disappear from my channel. And so that's what he did. He hasn't commented on a video since, as far as I can tell, and I keep a pretty good close eye on all of my comments, and he never said anything else. I mean, I'll take a lot of stuff. I said, man, I can handle a lot of stuff. I can handle banter. I can handle shit talk. I can handle, you know, nice, you know, fun quips and well-prosed retorts. I said, but the one thing that I'm not going to stand for is you being a little bitch-ass liar. So he didn't say anything after that. So I guess I finally made my point. I mean, I'll take any horseshit comment from anybody. You can call my mother horrible names. You can say horrible shit about me. All the ad hominem attacks kind of make me giggle a little bit. If they're well thought out anyway. But I mean, if you're just going to straight up lie, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Don't just lie. Because I'm going to call you out. Straight Out Camera says, Nikon is fine. If Canon made better sensors, it would be better than Nikon, except the most recent models. Yeah, but Canon's not. I don't think they can. I don't know if they're just having a rough time with their sensor tech or what. But I mean, they've never had good dynamic range. They've never had... I don't know, man. Canon's in a really weird spot right now. I almost kind of feel sorry for them. Because they try to make a big deal out of this R and the R mount, and it is just falling flat. And now with Sigma, with this brand new adapter that they're going to provide, basically adapted, they're going to do an EF adapter to their new L mount system, which basically means you can still buy all the cheap Canon glass that you want, and they just adapt it to their new setup. Poor Canon. That's the reason they're rolling out the R mount. If you want to know the truth, they're tired of people using their lenses on everyone else's shit. They're like, Jesus Christ, we really boned it, didn't we? We really messed it all up. That's what happened. Nikon, man, you can't adapt hardly. You can't adapt their lenses to jack shit, man. It's brutal. Techie27 says, give me money for questions. Yeah, give me money for questions. Steve Holt says, "Photo me, good to see you. Other Nikon users here, man. I love Nikon. Like that was that. It wasn't my first camera, but it was my first serious camera. Was a Nikon. What did I pick up originally? What was the first Nikon I ever picked up? I want to say it was like the D3000, something like that. Maybe. No. I'm sorry, the D90. Yeah, it was the D90. Yup, that was my first real Nikon camera pickup. Before that, I shot Canon. But digital was so new right then. I held on to film almost right up until like the Rebels started coming out. Right around the T2i. That was probably when that right around then, right around when the T2i came out was when I was confident in digital that I was willing to start testing out the waters. So, god damn, man, how old is that? That's got to be at least like 10 or 12 years old now, something like that. It's a long time. Jonathan Norris says, when will Lightroom support the X-T3? God only knows, man. I don't use Adobe products. I don't. I just don't. I hate the subscription model. Photo Me Ike says, apparently, I'm not anymore. I'm back in the party, folks. Photo Me Ike says, still going to talk shit, though. Dude, that's great. Welcome to the shit talk party. That's what we're all here for. I'm telling you, I didn't block you. I did not block you. I really didn't. Why does everyone, like, I would never do, like, I am, first of all, I'm pro Second Amendment, and I am definitely pro First Amendment. So, I am pro free speech. 100% of the time, no exceptions. Just because I disagree with you doesn't mean I have to block you so that I have my own little personal bubble protected. I'm not a bitch, and I'm not like that. Free speech or no speech, okay? That's the only way I roll. If you want to talk bad about me, fine. Even on my own channel, fine. I'm not going to block you. I'm not going to restrict your comments. That would go against everything I believe in on a personal level. There's just no way I could do it. I could not censor anybody, no matter how abhorrent, no matter how much I disagreed. You will never be blocked on my channel unless you just be straight up lying. I mean, I'm not going to tolerate that. Just if you want to have civil or slightly uncivil discourse, I'm all for it, man. But I do not block people. I do not ban people. I just don't. It doesn't happen. In Plateau says, I'd rather shoot cameras. Yeah. Photo Me Mike says, oh, shit, man. I'm so far down now. Straight Up Camera says, I used to have the Canon, very intuitive. Well thought, best customer support, but bought Nikon for the image quality. It's true. I mean, Canon is not necessarily known for their image quality or their dynamic range per se, right? Or image quality for Canon solely, almost solely rests in skin tones, right? I think that probably 90 to 95% of every portrait photographer uses a Canon. 90 to 95% of every wildlife and landscape photographer uses Nikon. So each one kind of just, picked their niche, and they just kind of went with whatever they were good at the time. So we haven't had much deviance from those norms for quite some time now. Let's see. Photo Me Ike says, I'm about to get me a starter pistol someday. I'm going to get me the D3500 of guns. Straight Up Camera says, I'd buy Sony if they had customer support and larger cameras. Can't work with them with gloves. It's true. I'm not gonna lie. Shit, man. Look, y'all can't at me, bro. There's too many comments. I'm trying to keep up, man. And this is crazy how many comments I've got right now. Am I missing all this? Seriously. Boogernator says, which camera are you using for commercial or paid work? The XT2, my friend, right here. I did a real estate photography job today using this camera. It's just sharp as a tack, man. When you're doing like interior, or hell, even exterior, the XT2 is just a ridiculously good camera. It just is. I mean, I know people that are using Micro Four Thirds for interior real estate photography. Right? Don't you all know people that are using Micro Four Thirds for that? You put on the 10 to 24 on that camera, you're golden. It is a fantastic, fantastic camera. And because it's so customizable, because you can adjust the highlights, the shadows, the color saturation, all of that stuff independently in increments of like -2, sometimes -4, all the way up to +4, there's a lot of variability. Sharpness you can adjust in the same way. So if I'm going to shoot people, I kind of like my photographs to be a little bit more dramatic. I'll shoot in like classic chrome. If I want to have a little bit more flexibility in post, maybe I'll shoot in Pro Neg Standard. There's just a lot of flexibility. So personal preference, man. Do I got any more super chats? I am not in super chat mode, so I don't get many super chats. I'm not really sure why. Like I see some of the other YouTubers that do whatever it's called, do live streams. They get a lot of super chats. I'm not really for sure like what they're doing any different than me, but like I usually just stay in like live chat mode so that I can keep up with everyone. I like to have conversations with everyone that watches my channel, just not with the people, not only exclusively with the people that give me money. So I think that's the reason I always load up live chat as opposed to top chat mode. But to be fair, I always at least want to try to get to my super chats. All right, I'm just gonna have to skip a bunch of stuff, man, because you all have really done a good job with the chats tonight. The Panda Photographer says at PhotoMeIke and at the Photo Video Show should have a show together. I would totally do it, honestly. McWay says, I purchased on purpose a DSLR, and I like it even though I am mainly a mirrorless shooter. I like to be able to pick up anything and be able to use it. And that's the way it ought to be, man. Use whatever is best for the job. Use whatever you feel most interested in using that day. That's the reason I own multiple brands, so that I can be familiar with not only their lenses, but their menu systems, their quirks, their strengths, their weaknesses, all that shit. If you pigeonhole, like in today's marketplace, as cheap as like even used bodies are at this point, you can pick up old Canon cameras, old Nikon cameras, old Sony cameras, Fuji cameras now, Sigmas. You can pick up pretty much anything. Old cameras, 2 to 3 years old, for a couple of $100. Keep it stashed away, and you can buy lenses as you feel. I mean, most people don't want to do that. Granted, I get it, but you could. A couple $100, every couple of months, and you pick up a brand new camera from a different manufacturer. You could have quite the stable in almost no time. So you don't have to settle for just one camera company anymore. The only time it becomes a problem is when you're going to start like doing video and you need to marry all of that footage together. If it's a vlog, no problem. But if you're doing any professional work, if you're doing any sort of commercial work where the shots have to look consistent across cameras, it is much, much better and imperative in a lot of cases that you use the same cameras on every single shot. All right, I'm going back to live chat because I feel like I'm missing stuff. The Panda Photographer says, the Nikon F3 was my film. Before that, it was the Minolta X1. I absolutely love old used Minolta film cameras. They are cheap, highly, and readily available. And if one breaks, I'm out $35. Who cares? But my preferred is the Minolta X570. Is it the 570? I like a lot of the Minolta cameras, though, to be honest with you. Like I said, they're cheap, and you can literally find them anywhere. eBay all day long. You can find them at your used camera stores a lot of times. I've got a phenomenal used camera store where I live, and he carries an entire back wall case full of nothing but like old Nikons, old Nikon F mounts, old Pentax K1000s, all the old Minoltas. Like, I can find them for days. So I can go in there at any day of the week, go, hey, just hand me whatever you think is going to be cool this week. And I can get a $35 camera, boom, slap some film in there, done, ready to go. All right. Photo Mike says the Nikon D90, the first DSLR that was able to shoot HD video until the 5D Mark II dropped 6 months later. Yep. And I think after I did the Nikon D90, I think I checked out their D3000. I picked up their D5000. I picked up their D7000, the D7200, or no, the D7100, the D7200, the Nikon D600, the Nikon D610, the Nikon D800, or it was the D810. I can't really remember which. It was probably the D810, I think, or the D800E. It was like right there. It was after the D800, but it was either the D800E or the D810, one or the other. I don't know. It's been a long time. Let's see. Straight to the camera says, and why not universal mount for all? Do I need to change the monitor when I change computer? No. Yeah, but you do have multiple choices in monitor, which is kind of the same thing, you know? And it's also, you can, I mean, see, the camera sector is completely different than the computer sector. The computer sector had a sort of like a conglomerate. They said, okay, let's develop a set of standards. Whether that was to their benefit or to their detriment, I'm not for sure. You know, there could have been more competition if they hadn't set standards. But when it came to manufacturing and creating, multiple stuff for multiple companies, you have to think that computers just 20 years ago was basically reserved for only really rich folks or big companies or big organizations that were going to buy lots of them, right? The home computer didn't really start to come into effect until, like, say, 1991, 92, something like that, right around the early 1990s. Oh, damn, my light went out. The battery went dead. Actually, that's all right. Hold on. Hold up. I don't need it. Oh, man. All right. Okay, so when they started to try and do the standards or whatever, they had to kind of make something that was going to work across multiple systems, probably for a really long time, for a lot of massively huge clients. You know, if we're talking massive amounts of computers ordered for a bank, or massive amount of computers developed for the auto industry or government agencies and stuff like that, they had to have something that was going to work. Same mice, the same keyboards, the same everything across multiple lines. That was pretty much the only way that they were going to sell computers back then, is they had to sell them in bulk to big organizations. Cameras are not that way. Camera choices and camera preferences are very personal. And they never did come out with a universal mount. That would have been pretty interesting, though. But look at how much choice we have now. And because the competition is so stiff, it's not like you can't have a little bit of everything. Diana Gladney says, maybe she was talking to somebody else in time. Oh, Canon wanted to sell lenses too and lock up that mount and adaptability factor. Absolutely. That EOS R is nothing but a, hey, we have a full frame mirrorless camera, and holy shit, we were really pissed off. We didn't think about locking down our ecosystem better when we came out with the EF mount. Hashtag true story. Seriously. Let's see. McWay says, I purchased on purpose a DSLR. Okay, wait, I already read that one. Yes, I did. Let's see. What am I at? Mark Egger says, I shot Nikon film bodies for a long time. The F100 bodies were awesome. Nikon's AF at that time was not near as good as Canon. The Nikon cameras were tanks. Yep. You can still pick up those tanks too, just about anywhere. And they are amazing cameras to have, to hold, to just throw up, you know, anywhere. And I mean, it's not like they go bad, right? So you just throw them, you know, when you run out of film for a few months and you're like, oh, I don't really feel like has some with it, you just toss them up there and they're good to go. You can still use them anytime you feel like it. Straight Out Camera says, good night to all. Good company. P.S. I don't like guns, but I'm a strong supporter of the First, Second Amendments. I'm an immigrant who lived in Europe for 30 years. Keep being American or lose it all. Goddamn right, my friend. That is true words have yet to be spoken. I love that truth. Yeah, those the Brits and the Europeans are going through quite the growing pains right now. It's almost like birthing pains, I think. Let's see where I'm at. So I don't know, dude. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I think it's like Via Punani. That's what I'm going to call you, man. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Jesus Christ, I've been drinking and Via Punani says, so when's your review about the XT3? I don't know. I canceled my pre-order because after actually inspecting the image quality, now I'm talking photos only. This does not apply to video. But inspecting the photos, I was unable to detect much image quality difference between the two. I was, however, able to detect much better low light photo acquisition because of the new -3 EV on the X-T3. So I did think that that was nice, but I don't usually shoot low light. I generally light my scenes appropriately if I'm going to take a shot. And so I just didn't, I can't justify it yet. I mean, it's a cheap enough camera, but I just bought the Canon M50 for YouTube stuffs. It has a flip out screen that takes care of probably 95% of the real, genuine, honest to God video that I do. So, and I plan on keeping the XT2 anyway. So it's not like I felt like I didn't feel the need to sell it just as soon as possible so that I could get as much money for it so I could buy the XT3, you know. So I'll get it whenever, I don't know, whenever I get around talking to B&H and having them ship me out a loaner or something. I mean, I want it, but I just don't want it that bad. You know what I mean? I think it's an excellent, amazing, astounding upgrade. But just like I said in my video about canceling, this thing has done almost every single thing that I've asked of it. I don't feel like I need to shelf it or let it start collecting dust just yet. Just because I've got a new shiny toy, that would take a lot of attention away from a camera that is doing me just fine. So, I don't remember where I was at. All right, I'm at 58 minutes. I'm going to read a couple more comments, and then I got to be up out of here. Where am I at? Tovanar says, cameras are bait. Lenses and glass is the money shot for the companies. True story. It is. Tobias said, would you say that you qualify as a Fuji fanboy? I've said it multiple times on multiple videos. I am a Fuji fanboy. Mickway says, I know that you don't like shooting weddings, but I was in a wedding this weekend and the photographer was talking to me because I took my camera and she wants me to second shoot. Any tips on negotiations? I have second shot weddings on a couple of occasions. Honestly, they're more fun for me. I would almost prefer to second shoot because I like taking the detail shots. I don't like messing with the bride. I don't like messing with the family. Come on, guys, let's all get together. Let's take this shot. And I'm just like, forget it. So I would almost rather do like all the detail shots and all the little things around the area. I like those shots way better than I like portraits. I like them way better than I do group shots. And as far as negotiations, I mean, what do you like? Usually if I second shoot, I just charge by the hour. How long do you want me to stick around? My time is worth roughly $100 an hour. So, you know, if you want me to stick around for 5, or if you want me to only stick around for 3, I'll get as many of the little accoutrement shots as you want me to take. I'll make sure I set them up and knock them down. I'll get napkins and glasses and the flowers and the rings and the shoes and all that kind of crap. Knock it out real quick for you, and I'm out of here. So if you want me to do all that, you know, pay me by the hour. I'll show up with bells on and get it all done for you. But yeah, I mean, generally, depending on skill level, depending on experience, $50 to $100 an hour. Or just ask them, go look. Generally, I work by the hour or by the job. Which one would you prefer? Do you just want to pay me a lump sum, or do you want to negotiate a price up front? Just be honest with them, like we're doing right now. Hey, great, man. I'm really glad you want me to second shoot for you. You know, would you prefer to pay me by the hour, or do you just want to pay me by the job? Do you want to pay me by percentage of the job, or you know, how do you want to do it? And then see what page they're on, and then you could always go, well, you know, it's a little bit less than what I usually take. Is there any chance you can bump that up? Seriously, talk straight. Most wedding photographers, if they just want you to second shoot because they've got a bunch of little stuff that either A, they don't like to do, or B, they don't want to deal with, just talk straight. It'll work. It always does. Henry Sherman says, very rational thinking. I don't know what you're talking about, but that's cool. I think I do rational thinking. Dave Pinkett says, hello from Canada. Love your show, man. You just say it as it is. It's the easiest way. If you tell the truth, you don't ever have to keep track of all your lies. Let's see. Mark Egger. Oh, he's talking to Steve Holt. Steve Holt. Yeah. Nismore 2 says, I like taking flu shots. Dude, I'm an anti-vaxxer. Quit putting foreign shit into your body. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm just pro-immune system. Quit washing your hands with antibacterial soaps, you bunch of pansies. Mickway says, I do it for less, but for portfolio building is what I'm after. Well, I mean, if that's your ultimate goal, I mean, if you just make it as easy as possible to get in there, then, you know, if you want to build portfolios, go, look, man, I'll do $25 an hour, or I'll do it for 10% of the total job. You know, well, you know what, whatever, however you feel most comfortable in your negotiation tactics, just be straight up. So if you're going to benefit from building your portfolio, you're already getting paid via that, because because if you second shoot, right, sometimes you have to negotiate for rights to the photos with the first shooter, the one who got the job. But if you charge really low, sometimes you go, look, man, I'll do it for $20 an hour. You know, that's it. If I can also use some of the second shots, I won't use, you know, your shots or whatever, but if I can use some of those shots for my own portfolio, you know, can we work something out? And usually they'll be like, dude, go right ahead, man. Let's see. Michael Mysterio Pierce says, I pay $400 to $500 flat a day for a second shooter. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on, you know, but at the same time, I wouldn't want them to take advantage of me. Like, if this is literally like an all-day event, like if you're going to be there at 9 a.m. to start getting all the makeup, you know, the little things that the girls put on their makeup tables and all that kind of stuff. Like, if you got to be there all day, I'm not doing a 10-hour shoot for $500. I mean, that is nuts. You're asking for way more work than you were ever thinking about getting paid for. So yeah, I mean, if I'm there for 5 hours, let's just say from noon to 5 p.m. before the reception starts, fine. But you're not getting me at 9 a.m. and then getting me till 9 p.m. It is not happening. Pay me 30% of your total take, or no. Like, you're not getting me all day. Like, I want to do the easy shit. Beginning of the ceremony to the end of the ceremony, a few detail shots, the champagne glasses, maybe the cake topper, whatever. I'll take all those shots for you, man. But I'm not sticking around here all day without being paid. Blaze King says, I guess you are pro-Trump as well. I am pro-nobody. I am pro-freedom. I am pro-First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third, Fourth. I am pro-freedom in all things. I don't care who's in office. You know, and this is me speaking as an American. I don't care who's in office. Left, right, in the middle, libertarian, Green Party. It doesn't bother me. As long as they respect the law, that's what I'm for. The law is the law is what rules our country. There's no monarch, there's no king, there's no queen, there's no Saudi prince or whatever. It's just the law that's voted on democratically. That's what I care about. I care about the law being enforced, whether it's at the very, very top or at the very, very bottom. So, and our Bill of Rights is law. So that's what I care about. So no, I don't have a pro anybody stance. Now, if they get on my nerves, I'm just going to say it. Okay, so Mark Egger says, I have an autistic stepson. Vaccines cause that shit. I don't mean to laugh. I just know how much shit I used to get when I used to say the exact same thing. Now, look, I'm no scientist. I can't prove it. All I know is that this stuff didn't start happening until we just started pumping a bunch of foreign stuff into our bodies. I am anti-medicine. I think that nature gave us everything we needed to defend ourselves, both from pathogens, from, external forces. It developed over millennia, fight or flight mechanisms. I mean, I realize this has nothing to do with photography, but holy shit, man, what are y'all talking about? Don't get me off on this stuff. Nizemar 2 said, if last generation cameras had all the fully articulating screens, we wouldn't need new cameras. Truer words. Henry Sherman says, I was referring, it is very rational thought process about the image quality differences at low ISOs between two generations of cameras, model X-T2 and X-T3. Both great cameras and staying with the X-T2. Yeah. Grape Jam says, here in Vietnam, we do a whole day shoot for $50. Holy crap, my friend. That is crazy. But I mean, that's your market. $50 for a whole day is probably really good for your market. And markets determine what prices are. $100 an hour is not unreasonable in this market. In, say, Bangladesh, it might be. Great Jam says, and that's if we're lucky. Usually it's $35. Dude, $35 wouldn't even pay me enough to fill up the tank in my truck. Okay. Where the hell was I at? Oh, Diana Gladly says, I was expecting Panasonic to go phase detect and keep that flip screen. So was I, honestly. I don't understand why the departure from the flip screen. It's weird. It seems like a bad move, in my opinion. Maybe they're just trying to separate maybe the full frame stuff from the more video-centric media Micro Four Thirds stuff with the flip screen. Because in theory, the Micro Four Thirds system, as far as gathering light, maybe not so good, but as far as stabilization goes, it's much easier to stabilize a Micro Four Thirds sensor than it is a full frame. So maybe they feel as though if they can maintain the look between the two size sensors, that they can do video-centric Micro Four Thirds and semi video-centric. You know, they said 70-30. 70 photos, 30% video on the, what was it, the S1 or whatever it is. I can't remember what it's called. The SR. It doesn't really matter. The S1, the S1R, or the SR1. I can't remember. But they said 70-30, 70 photos, 30% video on one of those. And then, of course, the R is their resolution, high-resolution camera. So maybe they're just trying to, I don't know. Maybe it's just easier for them to deal with video on the Micro Four Thirds system. And then, you know, maybe they'll use their S1 camera as maybe B-roll or something. And you're going to be the one dealing with the camera in the back, and you're not going to use it in the front. Maybe that's how they're going to do it. I don't know. All right, Grape Jam says, and we pay the same price for gears as everyone else. Mark Egger says, exactly. I am 50. We did not have autism when I was a kid. Too many chemicals in our bodies. I agree. I agree. As a matter of fact, someone asked me, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Long Rider, wanted me to do a video about how I lost weight and how I kind of cleaned up the diet and all that kind of stuff. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do it as like a, I don't know, secondary video after I do a morning jolt. But I mean, that's asking a lot. Maybe I'll do it on Saturday. Maybe we'll just do a whole video on like diet, food, and stuff like that. I'm not really a dieter. I'm going to be truthful. I don't diet. Lifestyle. You have to make lifestyle changes. All right, let me get back to this, and then I got to get the hell out of here. Okay? Y'all hold me up. Shit, where was I at? I lose it there. Okay, here we are. Dave Cuerpo. Cuerpo? Is that how I pronounce it? Cuerpo? Just received the Fujifilm X-T3. Also own the X-T2 and the X Pro 2. Putting the camera through its paces to figure out its limitations and capabilities. The X-T3 battery lasts 45 minutes in 4K, 6-speed, 200 megabits per second. Yeah, that's about the amount of time that I'm getting with the X-T2 as well. They didn't increase battery capacity, really. The S designation on all their batteries seem to be lasting roughly about the same amount of time. Like, you might, depending on how hard the camera's working, you might get a few minutes here or lose a few minutes there, but it's roughly the same amount. Polyrhythm says, I was born with autistic spectrum disorder. Who can I sue? I don't know, man. You gotta look around a little bit. Probably Kellogg's. You've been eating the Fruit Loops. Fruit Loops will give it to you every time, man. Blaze King says, $50 for a whole day? Fuck. I would shoot it on an iPhone 5 or something like that. MJ Adams says, they all got together and said, no flip screens. Canon wasn't present. Clearly. Michael Mysterio Pierce says, I now only accepting applications from Vietnam. Yeah. Dave Cuerpo. Dude, I hope I'm saying it right. I don't know. Encountered overheat warning at 35 minutes, back-to-back continuous clips, recording in my office without battery grip. With battery grip, didn't encounter the overheating warning. Yeah, probably because the camera draws from the battery grip batteries first before they reach for the internal grip. Deanna Gladney says the S1 should have the flip screen, if nothing else. I think it's a bad move. I agree 100%. Unless they plan to drop a GH6, which they will. GH5 is what, a year and a half old now? It'll probably be pretty soon. We just get tired of fighting the contrast focusing system. Me too. I've tried out like 4 of their cameras. And I really wanted to like them. I mean, I think their flip screen and the touch interface is just off the charts awesome. But fighting with that autofocusing system is just, I mean, it is not worth my time at all. It really isn't. And I've given it its fair shot. It's just not good enough. What time is it? God damn. All right. 2 more comments. Okay, so I did say his name right. David Cuerpo. Too Smart says videographer are gonna put speed boosters on their EOS R. Lol. You know what? You guys are probably right. It's probably a true story. They will put speed boosters on there, but I mean, after you spend, I don't know, anywhere between $300 to $600 for a speed booster, now you are inching up into $3,000 territory. I mean, why are you spending that? You guys are the ones paying more to fix the crippled camera system that Canon put out there. If you buy a Canon EOS R and you go and you spend extra money to make up for its shortcomings, you need your head examined. Seriously. Not worth. Not worth. MJ Adams says, it's the poison water, not the wine coolers Mom drank in cigs. She smoked every day during pregnancy. You're going to take that up with your mama. Steve Holt says, I'm not buying that Canon for video. No way. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm starting to tuck her out a little bit. And not to mention, I got to get up real early in the morning and make you guys happy. I've got to record a new morning jolt. I hope you guys have enjoyed this live chat. I've had fun doing it. I really do like the live chats. They're probably my favorite videos to make just because I get to bullshit with you all. So if you all happen to enjoy these videos and you want to support me, I keep links in every single video. If you decide to buy something, if you decide to pick something up, it doesn't have to be much. It's just got to be something. I get a couple of dollars here and there whenever you guys do it. It really does help support the channel, and I appreciate every single thing that you all do to help keep me in business. So at any rate, guys, I'm signing off. You all enjoy your evening. Love you. Peace out. I'll see y'all in the morning.